It is something that is a little bit innate. We are born with it too, right? But no one is fully born understanding like calculus. Even if you have an aptitude for it, you still need to be trained on it, right?
Now, I have a question for you, Caitlin. Is sex a learnable skill or is it a talent that you either have or you don't?
Ooh, it is a skill, absolutely. And it's also something that some people are born with more capacity for and more intelligence than others. We know that there is more than just the way that we think about intelligence, right? Like standard, like mental intelligence, what they measure on an IQ test, right? We know that there's also emotional intelligence and kinesthetic intelligence. And I think there's also erotic intelligence. I earnestly think that there are some people who have just come to planet Earth and kind of understand touch and pleasure and orgasm, and they just sort of like were born for it, just the same way that some people were born to do math and some people were
Mm.
born to be athletes because they understand where their body is in space and they can move it, or they dance the way that, and then there are those of us who had to learn. I was very low on kinesthetic intelligence. I could not tell you where my limbs were until I was like in my 30s. I had to train to learn that.
Yeah.
I have very low food intelligence. I can't go into a kitchen and just understand how to roast a chicken or whatever. I got to look at 5 recipes and consult all of them and remind myself how to do this and that. And I don't have the right thing. And I got to figure out a makeshift situation in my kitchen. Like it doesn't come to me naturally. I
Right.
don't blame myself for it. But one of my very close friends, she could walk into like any kitchen and just produce magic. And not to say that she
Mm.
didn't earn that, but she's got it more natural than I do, right? So it is something that is a little bit innate. We are born with it too, right? But no one is fully born understanding like calculus. Even if you have an aptitude for it, you still need to
Right.
be trained on it, right? So you might have the foundational pieces that come really easy to you, and you still learn, you still develop skill. But when you have the foundational pieces, the thing about developing skills is that it's a lot easier because you never tell yourself that you're bad at it, that you're doing it wrong, that you'll never get it. For me, for example, partner dance, low kinesthetic intelligence. Okay. Didn't know
Yeah.
where my limbs were. And so I tried to learn partner dance. And I was already feeling pretty insecure about learning it because I don't know where my limbs are. So keeping track and counting and 1 through 8 and where foot goes here and arms go here was a lot. It wasn't until I decided to give myself permission to just suck at it, just like be a total beginner and just be bad at it. I was just like, what if I was just allowed to be bad? What if
Yeah.
bad was all I was trying to be? And then inevitably I got pretty good at it because I gave myself permission. I didn't beat myself up for not just like knowing it right out the gate. And
Yeah.
once I understood, like, oh, I just have low kinesthetic intelligence, I've got more to make up for than someone who is born with high kinesthetic intelligence. That's
Yeah.
all. I think we could look at eroticism in the same way. You might be born with low erotic intelligence. It's not a bad thing. You can learn it. I'm a
Yeah.
pretty good partner dancer now. You would see me swing dancing and you would be like, she knows what she's doing. Well, yeah, it took me years to get here, but I got here, right? And it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth every step along the way. It was worth the awkwardness. It was worth having to develop those skills. In fact, I would argue that it was more fun for me than someone who is foundationally just talented at it because I got to have the experience of improving week over week. I got to watch myself. I got to go, yes, I learned
Yeah.
that thing. I got it now, right? It was a joyous experience because I allowed it to be. So, to put a point on that, we're all born with a various degree of erotic intelligence, and every single one of us has to build skills on top of that in order to be a great lover, period. Non negotiable. That's just how it is. And some people have a wider skill gap to make up for than others. But the thing to celebrate there is that you are going to have more moments of high fives, joy, celebration. I did it if you allow yourself to not be perfect at it right out the gate.
Yeah. Oh, that is so great. What a good example.